I've lived in Alabama for most of my life, so I've heard all the things. If you ever end up anywhere near Cullman, don't stop. Drive through. You know, we don't mess around there. All that stuff.
When Lucas Eddings moved to Cullman, all he knew was what he had heard his entire life. This was a sundown town. Those same allegations going around on social media right now, saying people should not go to the Chris Kendall Market. After living here for 3 years, Eddings says that reputation is outdated.
We showed up and just kind of went and experienced the town, and you could not find a more pleasant place. And it didn't matter, as far as I was aware, it didn't matter that I was a black man walking around in a place where that might not have been the case, you know, a couple decades ago.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now. Let's talk about this sundown sign controversy that continues here in the great state of Alabama. You heard about it right there. The news is all over it after a bunch of stuff over the past week where they referred to Cullman as a sundown town. A town where African Americans cannot go after sundown. Even today. Now, obviously, that's idiotic and dumb, and almost everybody knows it, but the controversy did exist. And I, being the helpful person that I am, I sought to solve the problem. So I issued a challenge. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Dale Jackson Cullman Sundown Sign Challenge here for just a second. I'm going to give you $1,000 if you can give me a picture of this sign from the 70s on. Okay, and I'm going to be kind. I'll even go to the 60s. There is an argument going on because AL.com decided because Cullman, Alabama, was picked as one of the nicest Christmas hallmark something or others because it's a nice place to go and celebrate Christmas, that they had to say, oh, yeah. Well, they used to have a sign on the freeway that said, hey, N-words, don't let the sun go down on you. That's the allegation. And all I'm asking you is to show me a picture of the sign. Now, as of the recording of this video, yes, as you would expect, 0 people have taken me up on that challenge because the sign didn't exist. That's a simple fact. It's a simple fact. It is an urban legend. And it's an urban legend that goes back decades. And I was lucky enough to have a historian reach out to me and say, look, this is probably an urban legend. And here are some newspaper clips that show that this urban legend has been around for quite some time. Now, let's take a look at them real quick. Here's one, and it talks about at a railroad station in Cullman in northern Alabama, another German colony. This sign is posted. N-word, don't let the sun go down on you in this town. Now, it even talks about how there's another town that doesn't have a railroad station, so they don't have a similar sign. And I'm sure that's the only reason that town does not have a similar sign. Let's take a look at another one. This one is from 1923. So we have 1910, the last one, 1923 in this situation. And it says, years ago, Cullman's reputation of unfriendliness towards members of the Negro race was known far and wide throughout Alabama. Near the center of the town, there was a sign that was erected, which was posted in conspicuous letters. Don't know what that means. N-words, don't let the sun set on you here. Although blemished almost beyond recognition by the elements, the sign has weathered many years. So they say this sign existed. It was in a different part of town, and it said a different thing, but it was weathered beyond recognition, and no picture or evidence is available for it. So that's 1910, 1923. And then lastly, a newspaper article that references a 1937 book. As legend has it, a sign once was erected in Cullman that pointedly urged blacks, don't let the sun go down on you while you're here. Yet a third telling of that line. The legend is of dubious historical origin. In his 1937 history of the town, an individual named Bright said the sign probably never existed, but at any rate, the rumor was effective because Negroes were mortally afraid of the town and the people who lived there. So there you go. You have 3 different tellings of it across 3 different decades, 3 different signs, 3 different places. And even in 1937, they said the sign's origins were dubious. This is a lie. It's over. Everyone should know this. Everyone should see this. And we should stop talking about this in this way and giving credence to terrible people because they have TikTok accounts. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened here. The morons at AL.com decided to run with what people were saying on TikTok, and look at what it did. It besmirched an entire town. Why? And again, let's make sure we understand why exactly they went after Cullman. It was because their town was considered nice. And that was not going to stand for the people at AL.com. They had to try to tear them down because they are unhappy and they are losers. And as always, not only are they out of step with almost every Alabamian, they're also wrong about absolutely everything.